In 2011, Mayumi Arashi's father went on television with a warning behind him. Do not believe Yoko. He did not say it aloud. He did not point to it. He sat for an interview about his missing daughter while a handwritten message remained visible in the frame, placed behind his shoulder where viewers could read it if they looked closely. The warning has been widely rendered as, "Do not believe what Yoko says." Yoko was not a stranger. She was Mayumi's sister. And that single note changed the public meaning of a disappearance that had already been unsolved for 17 years. Mayumi Arashi vanished in Japan in 1994. There was no publicly confirmed body, no known crime scene, no confession, and no trial. The case survived not through a complete public police file, but through television coverage, family statements, and one unsettling image. A father silently warning the country that the person shaping the story may not be telling the truth. The title of this case is simple, but the implications are not. Mayumi Arashi. Her father warned viewers not to believe Yoko. To understand why that note mattered, you have to start with what little is publicly known about the day Mayumi disappeared. Mayumi was an adult woman living within an ordinary family world. She was not a celebrity. She was not a national figure before she vanished. Public knowledge of her final movements came mainly from the people around her, and the most important account appears to have come from her sister, Yoko. According to the version later circulated in Japanese coverage, Mayumi's disappearance was connected to an alleged meeting with a man. Public reports have described him only vaguely, as an acquaintance or an unnamed male contact. His identity has never been clearly established in the public record. That matters because in a missing person case, with little physical evidence, the first explanation can determine everything that follows. If Mayumi truly left to meet this man, then the case points outward. Investigators would need to identify him, confirm whether the meeting happened, establish his relationship to Mayumi, and determine whether anyone saw them together. But if that story was wrong, incomplete, or deliberately altered, then the earliest search may have been sent in the wrong direction from the beginning. The public record does not provide a complete hour-by-hour timeline for the day Mayumi vanished. The exact municipal details, police documentation, and investigative file have not been released in a way that allows outsiders to reconstruct every step. What is publicly known is narrower. Mayumi was present in the family setting before she disappeared. Yoko was central to the account of what happened next, and the stated reason for Mayumi's departure involved a man who remains unclear in public reporting. Then Mayumi was gone. There was no publicly confirmed scream, struggle, blood evidence, recovered weapon, or immediate forensic marker showing violence inside the home. No confirmed remains have been reported. No publicly known conviction followed from the outside that left investigators and the public with a difficult question. Did Mayumi leave voluntarily, believing she was going to meet someone? Or was the explanation for her departure already part of the mystery? In Japan in the 1990s, a missing adult could fall into a gray area, especially when there was no obvious evidence of violence. As in many countries, an adult who failed to return home might initially be considered someone who had left by choice unless facts suggested danger. The early checks in a case like this would normally be practical. Was clothing missing? Were identification documents gone? Had money been withdrawn? Had friends, co-workers, hospitals, police boxes, stations, shelters, or lodging houses seen or heard from her. But the public record does not disclose a complete inventory of Mayumi's belongings, financial activity, or confirmed route after she left. No publicly released evidence has placed her safely anywhere after that point. That absence created a vacuum, and into that vacuum went Yoko's account. The case did not have a body to explain. It did not have a public crime scene to examine. It did not have a confirmed suspect presented to the public. What it had was a family narrative, and at the center of that narrative was Mayumi's sister. For years, the case remained unresolved. Mayumi did not resurface. She did not make confirmed public contact. No trail strong enough to close the case was released. The alleged man she was supposed to meet remained publicly undefined. Then 17 years later, the disappearance returned to national attention. In 2011, a television program revisited Mayumi Arashi's case. The format was familiar: an unsolved disappearance, relatives still waiting, and viewers being asked to remember whether they had seen or heard anything from 1994 that might help. Mayumi's father appeared on camera. On the surface, he seemed to be doing what families of the missing often do. He was facing the public. He was keeping his daughter's name alive. He was participating in an appeal after years without answers. But behind him, visible in the shot, was the handwritten warning. Do not believe what Yoko says. It was not a general statement about rumors. It was not a vague expression of distrust. It named one person, Yoko, Mayumi's sister. The father did not openly accuse her during the broadcast. He did not explain the evidence behind the warning. He did not present a police document, a contradiction, or a confession. He simply allowed the message to appear behind him, as if the camera could carry something he was unwilling or unable to say directly. That restraint is what made the moment so disturbing. If he believed Yoko had misled the public, why not state it plainly? If he had evidence, why not describe it? If he did not have evidence, why risk placing such a severe accusation in the background of a televised appeal? The note did not solve the case. It did not prove Yoko harmed Mayumi. It did not prove Yoko lied about everything. But it did prove one thing. Inside Mayumi's own family, there was a serious dispute over the truth. And that dispute centered on the person whose version had shaped the public understanding of Mayumi's final movements. After the broadcast, attention shifted. The mystery was no longer only where Mayumi had gone. It was whether the story of where she had gone could be trusted at all. There are three main ways to understand the case based on the public facts. The first theory is that Mayumi left to meet the unidentified man and encountered foul play outside the home. This follows the surface account. Mayumi departed for a meeting, expected to return, and something happened after she left. Under this theory, the lack of a reported struggle at home makes sense. The danger was not inside the family setting. It was somewhere beyond it. But the weakness is significant. The public has never been given clear evidence identifying the man, confirming the meeting, or establishing what connection he had to Mayumi. Without that foundation, the outside suspect theory depends on a lead the public cannot examine. If this man existed as described, he should have been central to the investigation. Did he acknowledge knowing Mayumi? Did anyone see them together? Was there a call, a witness, a vehicle, a station sighting, or any other point of contact? Those answers have never been publicly laid out in a way that resolves the disappearance. The second theory is voluntary disappearance. Adults do leave their lives behind. Some disappear deliberately because of family pressure, emotional strain, debt, shame, or private circumstances never revealed publicly. Japan has documented cases of people vanishing into new identities or hidden lives. This theory would explain the lack of a publicly confirmed crime scene and the absence of a known body. It would mean Mayumi chose to go and managed to avoid confirmed contact for years. But this explanation also has problems. Decades passed without Mayumi making a confirmed public reappearance, without a record strong enough to close the case, and without an accidental exposure that ended the mystery. Voluntary disappearance remains possible, but the long silence makes it difficult to accept without stronger evidence. The third theory is that the family account itself contains the key. Under this theory, Yoko may have known more than she said, changed details, protected someone, or misdirected the earliest understanding of Mayumi's departure. This does not automatically mean Yoko harmed Mayumi. It means her version of events may not have been reliable. Mayumi's father's note gives this theory its force. He was not an outsider speculating years later. He was Mayumi's father. He knew the family. He knew Yoko. And in 2011, he chose to tell viewers, silently but directly, not to believe her. Still, the theory stopped short of proof. The evidence behind his distrust has not been publicly explained. The note does not reveal what Yoko allegedly said that was false. It does not tell us whether her statements changed over time. It does not tell us whether other relatives agreed with the father, or whether the dispute was confined to him. It is a warning without the file behind it. That is why the Mayumi Arashi case remains so difficult. Each explanation answers part of the mystery, while leaving the center untouched. If an unknown man was responsible, the public still does not know who he was. If Mayumi disappeared voluntarily, the public still has no confirmed trace of the life she would have lived afterward. If Yoko's account was false, the public still does not know what Mayumi's father knew, suspected, or could not say. The 2011 broadcast did not provide closure. It exposed fracture. For 17 years, Mayumi had been missing. Then her father placed a second disappearance in front of the camera, the disappearance of trust inside the family narrative. In many unsolved cases, the public waits for forensic evidence, a body, a weapon, a match, a confession, a location. In Mayumi's case, the most powerful public image is not forensic at all. It is a handwritten message sitting behind a grieving father, quiet enough to be missed, and clear enough to haunt the case. Do not believe what Yoko says. Those words do not tell us where Mayumi went. They do not tell us what happened after she left. They do not tell us whether the alleged meeting was real, whether the man existed as described, or whether the earliest search was based on truth. They only tell us that Mayumi's father wanted the public to question the story. And after all these years, one question remains. Why did Mayumi Arashi's father warn viewers not to believe Yoko, but never explain the reason out loud? Follow Whispered Cases for a new case every week.